said that. The majority of the board felt that an alternative design would create impacts. I think this is what Mr. Arnold has said, would create impacts that his proposed encroachment does not. So in other words, as he said, if he had to build more linearly, if that's the right word, if he had to build more along the western edge, right, and with the guest house in the back, that creates impacts that his proposed encroachment does not. So the majority felt that that's why they could allow the variance in the back and the encroachment in the front. I felt differently about it.
Do you see any difference between what the mayor was talking about vis-a-vis environmentally sensitive land and which has been imposed since the conservation easement? I mean, is there no room to move there?
Well, the Board of Adjustment didn't consider the conservation easement. It wasn't part of the application. What we did consider was, of course, the encroachment into the hillside, the exemption from the hillside ordinance. So that's really was, as far as I was concerned, that was the point of no return for me. It wasn't for the majority, for the reasons I just stated. For me, the exemption, which says that it is to permit a reasonable use, defies reasonable definition. And I disagree with staff's interpretation of what's reasonable. So, and anything's reasonable. So, I mean, if you've got enough money, you can build anything, you know. And so my feeling is that the hillside ordinance is designed to protect 25% slopes. I mean, that's what it's there for. And whether an exemption ought to be made or not, I think, is a judgment call. And in my judgment, the exemption should not be allowed because I think an alternative design, and the Board of Adjustment, as I tried to explain, is not in the design business. We don't negotiate design from sitting up there. Correct. You can if you want, but we don't. So it's not my job to figure that out, but it is to try to justify whether an exemption to the hillside ordinance is justified or not. And I thought it was not. The majority thought it was.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Snyder?